How to say no in order to live a less stressful life. What is so hard about saying no? Well, studies have shown that when human beings are put on the spot in a certain topic, they tend to go by the rules and legislations of the topic. Even if you have loads of work on your back, if your boss asks you if you are free to work overtime, instead of saying no, you tend to actually say yes. And instead of allowing yourself to rest for the night after a long weekend full of work and restlessness, you can't seem to say no to your best friend when she asks you to babysit her children so she can go out. But actually, not saying no is actually more stressful than having to do all of these unwanted actions. You may feel the urge to say, no, I need some time for myself and I deserve it. But instead, you just say, sure, I'll give you a hand. I'm not saying that you shouldn't help others. All I'm saying is that you need to learn how to say no in order to not drain yourself and your energy. Especially in the times of the pandemic, life already seems stressful enough, and you don't want to really add to that stress. So, if you're interested in knowing the art of saying no in a gentle and polite manner, this video will provide you with a few tips that may come in handy anytime soon. Number 1. Value your time. When you set a daily, weekly, or monthly plan for yourself, you set them accordingly with your time and your previous made commitments. These commitments were already given a time in your life schedule, and the boat is bound to reach their destination. So once you get to know your commitments, respect them and respect your time as well. Through them, you will know how valuable your time is and that you may not have any second to spare for something that is not in your scheduled calendar. So if someone comes up to you asking you to do something for their sake or on their behalf, you'll know exactly how to respond to them. Just the simple, no, I'm sorry I can't help you because I already have a lot on my plate should be enough. People will respect your decision and your time because they probably have a lot going on themselves. So don't ever feel the need to take in something that goes against your treasured time and plans. Number 2, know your priorities. First things first, you need to set your priorities straight. The first thing a teacher does in her classroom is explain the objectives of the day's session, letting the students know what to focus on for the day. And in life, what you need to do is set your priorities and focus on them. For example, if you have a family, then saying no to a colleague that needs your help in a couple of projects is probably the right thing to do because then you would have your family prioritized. But if you're a workaholic and in the good sense, then your priority is work. Thus, helping out in a few projects might actually land you your dream promotion. Same goes if you're a student, a teacher, a singer, a dancer, construction worker, or anything for that matter. Just set your priorities and your long-term goals and stick to doing what makes you feel happy and what helps you achieve your goals. Number 3, practice saying no. This may sound hard, but as the saying goes, practice makes perfect. If you are a yes man or woman, then saying no may seem odd and out of the picture, even if you really don't want to say yes. But you probably spent your life being the office person that brings coffee to everyone that asks, or prints out the papers for company, or even volunteers to stay extra hours just because you couldn't say no. Well, you need to put an end or at least reduce saying yes. Stand in front of a mirror and say no as many times as you feel necessary to stick it in your head. Ask your mother to ask you a favor and then just say no. Even ask yourself to do something and just reject yourself. You may be laughing, but it actually helps. In the real world, saying no is not always possible, but once you get your tongue used to it, it'll be rolling out on its own in no time, and eventually, even the most stubborn person will get the message. Number 4, don't apologize. Now, let's get something straight. I don't mean go punch someone in the face and just not apologize. In that case, you kind of have to, or else that person might sue you. But what I do mean is, don't feel guilty. Don't let the guilt wrap around your neck. When you begin to say no to someone, the standardized phrase begins with, I'm sorry, but... As polite as saying sorry sounds, especially when saying no, it does make you seem like the weaker person. And when you say no, you are the one holding the ropes. So you have to be stronger than you appear. If you say sorry, but... be sure that the person will be back with the same request, and you will then feel the urge to accept. So a simple, no, maybe you can find someone else, I already have so much to do, should do the trick. And remember, when you say no, realize that you have nothing to feel bad about. You have every right to ensure you have time for the things that are important to you. Number 5, getting back later. If you feel that you're being too mean or the person in front of you really does need your help, but you're speculating if you want to let go of your rest or not, frankly, just don't answer. Tell that person that you will get back to them. This will allow you to give it some consideration and check your commitments and priorities. Then, if you can't take on the request, try saying no this way. After giving this some thought and checking my commitments, I won't be able to accommodate the request at this time. Well, at least you gave it some consideration, and you can't say that you didn't try. Number 6, maybe later. This is something I'm pretty sure everybody has said at one point of their life. Want to head out for a drink? Maybe later. Or, hey Tom, I'm having a barbecue this weekend. Care to join in? Well, my friend, maybe later can actually save you. This method is used when you don't want to reject the person, but you still don't want to do it wholeheartedly. And think about it this way. When later comes, you just might have the time. Number 7, it's not you, it's me. This is the typical dating rejection when you really don't want to break another person's heart. But it actually comes in handy in other situations. When you are offered something that genuinely seems like a good offer, but it's not something that interests you, then compliment the work and show the opposite side that the deal is great, but it's just not for you. Number 8, preempting. Sometimes you don't have the guts or the courage to say no to someone because maybe you feel like being a helpful person today, but you don't really have the time nor the energy to invest on being extra nice. So, if you feel like someone is about to ask you for a favor for the day, enter the office talking about how much work you have for the weekend and how big of a bulk you need to finish before Monday, and even nag that you're not getting enough sleep. No, don't nag, but try to get it out somehow, because nagging will just make it awkward. This way, if someone is just thinking about asking you for a favor, then they will back down and take it easy. Number 9, set your conditions that will make the opposite part reconsider. When you are in school, teachers give out assignments with their deadlines, and sometimes you feel that you could have done better had the deadline been a bit further off. Same goes to offers or pleading for help. You can set your own conditions, like instead of helping with a project in 2 weeks as the targeted person wants, give them a 3-week deadline instead. Just say that your work is done better when given more time. This way, the person either accepts and has to just confine by your rules, or they just go off looking for another person. Bottom line, when we say no, it can be in a very nice and gentle manner, taking into mind other people's feelings and emotions. But the more important aspect is to take care of your own self and not get caught up in pleasing or helping others that you eventually forget about yourself. Give yourself the time that you deserve and don't worry about others. If you're not harming them, then you're still helping them.